Windows 8 from Microsoft presents The News Hour with Arnab Goswami.
Welcome back. Times Now has the deepest sympathy for the family of the Delhi Police Constable Subhash Chand Tomar. But through the day, several questions have been asked over the exact circumstances that led to his death. There was some new television footage which emerged from Sunday's clashes that had led to a run-in between the Aam Admi Party and the police. The post-mortem report released this evening says Constable Tomar died of internal injuries, which Team Kejriwal claims contradicts the police's initial claim.
Heart-wrenching scenes. Moments before Constable Subhash Chand Tomar was rushed to the hospital. But the Delhi police's claim that protesters attacked the constable has come under question. Seen here in footage accessed by Times Now are two protesters, eyewitnesses Yogendra Tomar and Pauline, trying to resuscitate the constable while he lay unconscious. Both claim Tomar collapsed in front of them.
एकदम एक अचानक एक पुलिस वाले गिर गए थे, तो हम दौड़ के गए थे उसके पास, तो हमने उसका ये शर्ट जो जैकेट था वो खोला, शर्ट का बटन खोला, तो जूते सारे निकाल दी और कोई चोट वगैरह कुछ भी नहीं था उसके ऊपर और पसीना ही पसीना था।
वो मेरे सामने ही गिरे थे और ऐसा कुछ नहीं हुआ कि वो किसी के कुचलने से, चूंकि वहाँ पे भीड़ कुछ नहीं थी, वो सामने दौड़ते गिर गए जी।
Within hours of these claims, the Delhi police calling a hurried press conference to release the post-mortem report of Constable Tomar, claiming that internal injuries had led to his heart attack.
बाकी इनको जो चोट लगी है वो इनकी जो है वो इनके सीने पर रिब्स टूटी हुई थी, इनके सीने में चोट थी बहुत ज्यादा, और उन चोटों के कारण ही इनको जो है डॉक्टर्स का कहना है कि इनको हार्ट अटैक हुआ और इसके कारण इनकी डेथ हुई.
According to the Delhi police and doctors at Lady Hardinge Medical College, at the point when he was found, he had already suffered injuries. The injuries were already inflicted on his body, and then he was taken to Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital.
But despite the report's claims, the Aam Admi Party under fire for instigating violence in the Delhi protests, questioning the police's version and accusing them of lying.
The Constable Tomar was attacked with blunt instruments. While no one saw any arms in the hands of any protesters, he was attacked with blunt instruments. His ribs were damaged. Even after that, no constable came to his help, no one was by his side. He actually ran further chasing the protesters. And this is the point where he collapses. We have two eyewitnesses to see that. If someone had to do a cock and bull story, this is what cock and bull stories are like.
But far from clearing the air, the Delhi Police Commissioner is busy fighting letter wars with the Delhi Chief Minister. As allegations fly thick and fast, the emergence of new footage from the day of the incident raises certain questions. Does the police have solid proof against the 8 people who were arrested? And does the Delhi police have TV footage of what exactly happened leading to Tomar's heart attack? With Bhavtosh in Delhi, Rahul Dalal, Times Now.
So the Aam Admi Party says this is a cock and bull story. It's completely made up. Sanjay Jha is with me in the studio tonight, co-founder of HamaraCongress.com. He's taking on Shazia Ilmi of the Aam Admi Party. Ranjana Kumari, Director of Social Research, Center for Social Research. Ashish Nandi, Delhi citizen and very well-known sociologist. A.K. Verma, former IPS officer, former Raw Chief of India. Sabha Naqvi, political editor of Outlook. News Hour viewer Shreya Ghoshal from Kolkata, N.P. Tiwari. Shreya Ghoshal, a teacher from Kolkata, N.P. Tiwari, a banker from Chandigarh, KTS Tulsi, senior advocates. A big panel tonight and a big issue. Shazia, how can you just dismiss what the Delhi police is saying?
Well, the post-mortem report clearly contradicts the statements of the eyewitnesses and that of the RML doctors. When we see the footage, and these eyewitnesses have actually produced evidence, and there's just not 2 of them, the photojournalists too who produced documents as well as video of how they actually assisted Subhash Tomar ji when he collapsed. If indeed he was hit and severely injured, why was he a part of the police team still chasing protesters away? And also when Yogendra and Pauline, who were at the scene, who actually assisted and helped him take his chest guard off, kind of and assist him in taking him to the hospital. Why didn't any police come to help? Why is death of a worthy constable being used to politicize and convolute the whole story? Why are we being dragged into this vortex of controversies and accusations?
Pauline
Why
was
are we not talking about the real issue?
Pauline was at the spot. In fact, you can see there in those pictures. You can see there Pauline helping. She's standing there right behind. She's actually helping Tomar in his last moments are there. Pauline, can you tell us what was the situation like before Constable Tomar collapsed on Sunday evening? What happened when you came in around that time?
Actually, the police were chasing the mob, the crowd, and and we saw that the crowd was too far away when Mr. Tomar fainted over there. And when we saw him over there, lying over there, we rushed with our friends over there, and I called this Mr. Tomar. अंकल जी आपको मेरी आवाज़ सुनाई दे रहे हैं? तो अगर मेरा आवाज़ सुनाई दे रहा है तो सांस लेने की कोशिश कीजिए. तो एकदम से वो अनकॉन्शियस हो गए थे, वॉमिटिंग भी हो रहा था, तो हमने उसको लेटने दे दिया था. तो फिर मैंने कहा कि कोई एम्बुलेंस तो बुलाओ, यहाँ पे खड़ा क्यों देख रहे हो, कोई एम्बुलेंस तो बुलाओ. तो वहाँ पे कोई नहीं था एम्बुलेंस बुलाने के लिए. तो हमने कहा कि थोड़ा साइड में रखेंगे उसको, क्योंकि क्या पता फिर भी आ सकते हैं वापस. तो हमने उसको एक जगह पे रख दिया था. फिर ये योगेंद्र जो है, उन्होंने देखा था पीछे ये दिल्ली पुलिस का गाड़ी है, एक गाड़ी थे, दो गाड़ी थे मेरे ख्याल से. तो उन्होंने वहां से वहां तक गए थे, योगेंद्र वहां तक गए थे उसको बुलाने के लिए. फिर ये दिल्ली पुलिस के गाड़ी आ गए, फिर योगेंद्र और ये कुछ पुलिस वाले उनको लेके गए थे. फिर बीच में ऐसे हुआ था कि जब मैं उसको गोद में ले रही थी, तो हमने उसकी जैकेट भी खोल दिए थे, फिर शर्ट का बटन भी निकाला था. तो वहां पे कोई इंजरी कुछ भी नहीं था, कोई चोट भी नहीं लगा था, बस पसीना ज्यादा आ रहे थे उसको.
So, you know, bottom line is this. What is established is two things. One, the first point which is very clear is that the police was not there helping him. It was the protesters who were helping him. The police may have been busy somewhere else. Second point is, was there an attempt to simply, you know, in this particular incident, Sanjay Jha, you know, is it an attempt to say that all the protesters are violent, that they are responsible for the death of, you know, what the Aam Admi party is saying is that there is an attempt at brushing all the protesters as potentially extremely violent, out of control, etc., especially those from the Aam Admi party. Your response to Shazi?
Okay, first and foremost, Arnab, it establishes actually three things. Number one, the protest was peaceful, was actually being done very well by students and young kids who cared for what happened in Delhi. It went for a complete spin when the great Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, Mr. V.K. Singh, I heard him some time ago, and Baba Ramdev took over the entire, I would say, a very peaceful and a very emotional demonstration of feelings and hijacked it into a political drama.
What proof do you have to back that up?
Well,
what proof do you have to back that up?
Let me tell you, there's an FIR filed against them.
One second. FIRs, come on, please. Please, 1 minute. According to Mr. Kejriwal, while granting bail, the court repeatedly asked the police if you have enough proof against those arrested, but the Delhi police failed to produce such evidence.
Well, let me tell you.
Moreover,
obliged to respond.
No, so then don't quote the FIR.
No, one second.
Don't quote the FIR.
Mr. Kejriwal,
take back what you said on FIR.
We will get to know about it.
Take back what you said on the FIR.
No, point number two. Point number 2.
1 second.
At this moment of time, it is ridiculous.
No, point number 1.
It is ridiculous to say at this point, Madam Ilmi, let me finish. I didn't interrupt you.
Point number 2.
And you come from an AAP party, so as a political party now, let's have a civil discussion.
Briefly make your point. We've got to go to the other panel.
When did a forensic medical investigation become secondary and inferior to an eyewitness account? I mean, this is foxy to me, and I think it's unheard of in any global criminal investigation.
Okay. So you're saying, before you go to point number 3.
You haven't heard of Shopian, Butler House.
1 minute, let her respond.
You don't know any of these cases. You don't know about Manu Sharma and the CHSL report that acquitted Manu Sharma. So obviously you don't know about any of the cases before.
I'm now going across to the others. Ranjana Kumari, I'm going across to Ranjana Kumari. Ranjana Kumari, my question to you is, today we have the representative who's representing HamaraCongress.com saying it was all fine till the Aam Admi Party and Baba Ramdev entered the scene.
Well, Arnav, this is really a sad state of affairs. Now this blame game has started, and also trying to ridicule and trying to really defame the protest which was done by really angry young people in the country, instead of really appreciating, supporting and also responding to it in a positive manner. This is really sad. One thing, the first day, ask these people, first day when they started water cannon, they started chasing the young boys and girls, 15, 18, 19, 21-year-olds, girls, when they were chasing them, were they violent on the first day? On the second day, what are they talking about? Why are they trying to kind of, villain out of innocent young people who are protesting because they are angry? It is a cumulative anger. It is anger that system is not doing anything, and these people, are they against the young protesting democratic political people points of our country? This is what police is trying to police.
One minute.
No,
who's scoring political points? Sabah Naqvi, I'm going to you. 1 second. Is the government trying to score political points by saying essentially the violence was engineered by the Aam Admi Party and by Baba Ramdev, and possibly also by people like VK Singh? Sabah Naqvi.
Arnab, obviously the government is trying to make some political points, but I feel it's not succeeding very much, because the Aam Admi Party had a very legitimate right to be there. I also want to say they have a legitimate right to question a post-mortem report. In India, everyone should be able to question post-mortem reports, because the sort of track record of the police is not great, in spite of this very unfortunate death of Mr. Tomar, and this whole situation which came out of an incident which was so tragic, and which a lot of people, having gone to the site, a lot of people were coming there also because the media was playing it up, and people came there out of genuine concern, genuine feeling, and also there were some people who were just curious, who just wanted to be part of a tamasha, and some scuffles broke out, and the whole thing spun out of control, and out of that mess that then subsequently happened, you have a situation where you have this pathetic display of politics happening.
One sec.
Can I just finish what I'm saying?
Let him complete.
Out of that mess that happened, and Sanjay Jha, I don't think went there since I've been there, and I live in Delhi. So, out of that mess that happened, you have this pathetic display of politics which is going on, a pathetic sort of one-upmanship between the police and the Delhi government. Now we are having a slanging match for no reason between the Aam Admi Party and the Congress gentlemen here, because it's not really about that. It's about a sentiment which people felt in urban India, because we have a whole generation of women who are out there working in post-liberalization India, who come out of traditional backgrounds, who are now leading modern lives, and they perhaps relate to this story of a woman who faced such a brutal attack on her. It's become a flashpoint for a feeling in urban India, in small town India. There's no doubt about that.
Question to Mr. A.K. Verma is, the doctors at RML treating Constable Tomar had ruled out any external or internal injuries, but the post-mortem report claims that Constable Tomar died of internal injuries. Is there a discrepancy that we are seeing there, Mr. Verma? And can that discrepancy be completely glossed over?
There is obviously a discrepancy between the statement there is a discrepancy between the statement of the doctors and the post-mortem report. Now, the post-mortem report speaks of 3 ribs being broken, and internal injuries in the chest, in the stomach, and in the neck. Now, these cannot be created artificially, so the doctors have to explain how do they explain the existence of these injuries which have been reported in the post-mortem. So this discrepancy is there, and it's too glaring to be ignored.
No, Mr. Verma, while a senior police official claims that constable's ribs had fractures and these multiple injuries aggravated his condition and led to cardiac arrest, one of the doctors treating him said that those rib cage fractures could have happened when we were giving him cardiopulmonary resuscitation.
Resuscitation.
So, you know, I'm not sure of the facts here unless some... No, 1 second, Sanjay Jha. Before you respond, I want to put 2 and 2 together. Do they add up? I'm asking a very senior police official. Sir, do they add up?
No, they don't add up in the sense that what the doctors have said doesn't corroborate the report. And I don't think post-mortem reports can be concocted in this fashion. And there is an inquiry which has been ordered. I'm sure it's going to establish what are the facts. Whether what the post-mortem report says represents the facts, and if it doesn't, then it's a very serious thing. And whether what the doctors have claimed, that is a fact. It is bound to be established during the inquiry which is taking place. Because you'll know the truth.
Because
personally, I don't think the post-mortem report should be discarded just out of hand.
No, it certainly can't. But
you don't see evidence of broken ribs and internal injuries and explain it away by denying that they exist.
And
one minute.
Or the other way around. Or the other way around. Or the other way around. You can't create injuries when there were none.
I think it's very
This was seen by none. But they were only there in the post-mortem report.
One at a time. One at a time.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
I think
1 minute, gentlemen, calm down. No, 1 sec, calm down. 1 sec. My question to Dr. Ashish Nandi is this. We have a big panel, but we also have a lot of time tonight. My question to Dr. Ashish Nandi is, do you feel Shazia has a point when she says, don't say all the Aam Admi Party and all the people from Baba Lamdev are the lumpens and the rest of the protesters are completely calm? Is there a political angle to this that you're seeing, Dr. Nandi?
Yes, there is. There is no doubt that there is an attempt to discredit this party, and I think that both the police and the regime sound as if they are desperate for that. I do not believe 3 persons can come and mobilize an entire movement of this order into something different. It is an overestimation of their skills and their public status and their appeal.
1 minute. KTS Tulsi, therefore we come to a conclusion here. We are looking at this. KTS Tulsi, is there an attempt to create villains? Villain number 1, Aam Admi Party. Villain number 2, Baba Ramdev. Villain number 3, certain sections of the media.
I don't think you can pass judgments on this scanty material. And this is the job of the court to discover the truth. After examining the doctors who wrote the post-mortem report, the doctors who examined, the doctors who assisted in resuscitation, now they will be examined, they will be cross-examined, the eyewitnesses will be examined, they will be cross-examined. Discovery of truth is not so simple to be able to jump the gun and say that the whole evidence is fabrication for one reason or the other.
Is there an attempt to create villains? No, is there an attempt to create villains by those who don't want to answer the question of why the Delhi government and Chief Minister are at war? Why the Home Minister of India is dilly-dallying? What the position of 2 arms of the government are? No, why is the crime rate going up? Why is the crime graph gone up? By 100%. You don't want to answer those questions, so you conveniently try to create one villain after the other. Will it work? Dr. Tulsi, do you really believe there is no attempt to create villains?
No. I can't come to any conclusion at this stage because I don't know the facts. I haven't seen the post-mortem report. I haven't seen the statements. They have not yet been cross-examined. It's too premature to pass a judgment.
Our panelist has said tonight. Our panelist has said tonight that it was all right, the protests were peaceful, but for the Aam Admi Party and Baba Ramdev.
Well,
1 second.
Arnab,
You have said that tonight, so don't prevaricate now.
Let me say something on your television channel today, which I don't think many people are aware of. Today you had a very senior member of the AAP party, whatever it's called, who apologized to a lady from the Youth Congress, whose name they had deliberately floated on Twitter as having, making allusions that she met Mrs. Gandhi, that it was a staged drama which Mrs. Gandhi had with certain student volunteers, and this was a
Am I discussing that? Am I discussing that?
1 minute.
No, am I discussing that?
No, 1 minute.
No, 1 second. Am I discussing that?
No,
am I discussing that?
Politicizing that?
No, am I discussing?
No, by Mayank Gandhi today to the lady concerned, and that is ample evidence of the fact that the Aam Admi here was, or whatever Aam Admi party was trying to play politics.
Am I discussing
I think they entered it for their own benefits.
No, Sanjay Jha is
not a secret.
Hear me.
The world knows it.
Hear me. 1 second. Let's get a response. I'm not. But am I discussing?
I will not allow you, Sanjay,
no, but it's relevant.
Whatever your name is, to pass judgment on my motives for being there.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop you right
why don't you respond to Mayank Gandhi's public apology today? If you want, I can even name the lady concerned who on Twitter you tried to delete because you were caught napping.
Please answer what I'm saying, Sanjay Jha.
Go ahead.
Sanjay Jha, don't run away.
Go ahead.
Don't run away.
No, I'm here.
Please don't run away. Answer what I'm saying. I will not allow you to cast aspersions on my motive for being there. The first day, second day, and the third day, and all the days I want to be there, even if I'm a part of the party or not. So please do not cast aspersions and judgment on me and my motives or any of my colleagues. Everybody has a right to be there.
Sure.
We have led many protests, led by Anna Hazare and then Arvind Kejriwal, and the hallmark and the forte has been, and I'm proud of it, non-violence.
But you should not hack his email database. You should not hack the email database of Anna Hazare. I'm just speaking in general interest.
What are you talking about? Be serious. Sanjay, don't be more loyal than the king. You're cutting a sorry figure right now. So don't do that. Don't push it. It's a very serious issue.
Yeah.
I will not allow you to hijack it and make it about Aam Admi Party. This is a much bigger issue.
Why did Mayank Gandhi today apologize for floating the name of a youth Congress activist in a blatant fashion?
I do not know. I will ask Mayank Gandhi that. I do not know anything about it.
Please answer that question.
I don't believe a word of what
Let us not get into sanctimonious stuff. We hear that every day on television.
Sanjay, can I say one thing? Can I say one thing? 1 second. Can I say one thing? I am having this debate tonight. 1 sec, Shazia. I am having this debate tonight saying, at the end of the day, the authorities need to show some sense of responsibility.
Sure.
Right? Sure. And this debate is very clear. Can you say,
That is the core of the debate.
That is the core of the debate.
Sure.
And it is about the incompetent, with a capital I, incompetent and inept police. And if the incompetent and inept police is being questioned, is the 1 minute, Sanjay Jha. 1 minute, Sanjay. Sanjay, thank you. Thank you. 1 second, Sanjay. Please, let's be very clear. If you want statistic, I'll throw enough statistics at you. And I'm also asking questions tonight. Why is the Delhi police putting hurdles in recording the statement of the rape victim?
It is not.
Why is it? One minute.
It is not. By the way,
please be clear.
Chidambaram has said that her statement has been recorded again, and I will not make a disclosure, but there can be technical reasons why a statement is taken a second time.
How much Sanjay Jha knows about
the Ranjana is asking.
He was not even there. All of us were there. No, I'm saying how much Sanjay Jha knows about this protest. We all were there. Women's groups were there. Young people were there. From day one, when we started it in front of Vasant Vihar police station, till it ended the way in such a ugly way that it was, they're trying to finish it. It's not going to end. Let me tell you that tomorrow again students are going to come out and going to protest tomorrow again. So that's not going to end. But the way innocent girls were beaten up, I want your channel, Arnab, to show those scenes where under the tree that girl alone was beaten up by this male police. I don't know how many blows she got.
KTS Tulsi, answer that.
sorry and came and saved. So I think this is really sad that we are trying to defend something.
1 minute, KTS Tulsi. I'm asking KTS Tulsi to respond.
We are sorry that Mr. Tomar died. We have sympathies with the family. We are very sorry. We are feeling very bad that Mr. Tomar died. But I'm not going to say anything after this. We are sorry, and our sympathies are with the family. Our condolences are with him. But that doesn't mean that the students who protested should be villainized the way they've been made into villain. And this is not acceptable at all. Democratic right to protest
every protester
of the country.
Every protester and every media which covers a protest is not a villain, Mr. Tulsi. A media which covers a protest is not a sensational media, a hysterical media, a breast-beating media, as some sections are describing it now.
Breaking the camera of a media person, where have you heard of that?
And reporters were also beaten up. Cameras were also broken, and tremendous restraint was shown by the media while reporting those events.
People do that. Not even in war people do that. They protect the media persons. Not even in war cameras are broken and reporters.
1 minute, let her complete.
Shooting happened. People did not go and demand President Obama's resignation either. So
I don't. One minute. Sanjay Jha. Sanjay Jha.
Resignation of the entire government every time.
Really,
there is a challenge. There is a challenge.
You don't know what has happened to the young people.
1 minute, Sanjay. 1 minute, Sanjay. Please understand one thing.
We are on the same
No, we are not. No, we are not.
Everybody wants to solve this issue.
No, we are not.
The government is working closely with the protesters.
We are not.
But you know, the only tragedy is that we are demeaning the fact. 1 minute.
So 1 minute, Sanjay Jha. 1 minute. You said 1 minute.
High-handed, they have been suspended.
Sanjay Jha. I find it laughable. I find it laughable that you should suggest that you cannot ask for resignations. I mean, I thought we were still in a democracy.
You are.
Are we still in a democracy?
But you want
so you can't ask for resignation. No, you can ask for it whether you get it or not.
Some panelists want
anybody can ask.
The Home Minister.
Anybody can ask for anybody's resignation. What's the big deal? That's only asking for it. That's it. So they can ask. The people have their own versions of who's working, who's not. That's all right.
Fair enough. My
question tonight is
we agree that there should be no hide-handed.
Since this
please remember,
Sanjay Jha, I'm going to have to stop you. I'm going to have to stop you.
You got to also respect the law.
1 minute. Sanjay Jha, I'd like you to now hear from the Newshour viewers. First, to Mr. N.P. Tiwari, who is in Chandigarh. Mr. N.P. Tiwari, you've heard this debate so far. Do you feel the police is on weak ground?
Yeah, good evening. Good evening, Arnav, and my distinguished panelist. I'm Sunu from Chandigarh. I want to share my view regarding functioning of Delhi Police. First of all, the Delhi Police Commissioner made a statement 2 days before the release of post-mortem, and post-mortem report resembles the same statement, almost same the statement made by Delhi Police Commissioner. So this post-mortem itself seems to be fabricated one, and this is first time I am seeing a very filthy post-mortem report.
Okay, 1 sec. Let's also get in Shreya Ghoshal from Kolkata. 1 sec. Shreya Ghoshal, what would you say to the HamaraCongress.com representative? I saw your hand go up in the course of that debate so far. Yes, Shreya. Sanjay, hear what Shreya is saying.
Good evening, Arnav. Good evening, everyone. I just like to say that, all this reminds me of the stories that we had heard about British Raj. I mean, when our masses were treated like slaves and all we did was pay taxes. In our own country today, the masses have become second-class citizens. Their demands are not met, their voices are not heard, and when someone tries to do something about it, weird stories are made up to sidetrack the main issue. I mean, as far as the post-mortem report is concerned, there are a few very simple things that can explain what has happened. It has been said clearly that there are internal injuries, but no external injuries have been mentioned. Now, during resuscitation, which is CCPR, cardio-cerebral pulmonary resuscitation, during that time, a lot of pressure is put on the chest, and due to that, ribs can get cracked or broken. In fact, it is said in the medical fraternity that during resuscitation, if a rib does not get cracked, that means enough has not been done during resuscitation. Now, these things are not being mentioned anywhere. Just a half truth is being given out which would make people think that some kind of foul play has happened.
I take your point.
As for the next marks, even those can be.
Shreya Ghoshal, I'm going to come back to you. Let's go back to the central issue on this debate. Dr. Ashish Nandi, you said you do genuinely feel that there is an attempt to say that one section of protesters who have political leanings are possibly more violent than others. Do you think it is important now for the government to come to terms with protests in a way? Do you feel the government has come to terms with protest, or do you feel they are too knee-jerk in their reactions each time a few hundred people get together and start shouting slogans? Do you think there's a sense of nervousness, Dr. Nandi, and if so, why?
I think in the ruling party, the proportion of politicians have diminished dramatically over the last few years. We have people who have no experience of facing mobs or protest, and the only way they can handle protest is through the police. And the police, being a colonial police, 65 years after the end of colonialism, have always ended up precipitating matters further, and a protest which could have been actually creative input in the culture of Indian politics becomes in the process violent, unmanageable, and actually becomes itself a bone of contention. People are forgetting the main issue for which the protests have assembled, and though the regime is paying lip service to their cause, they are unable to accept the fact that the protest itself is being led by youngsters, and there are a few members of the opposition there within the protest. This is pathetic. This shows total absence of political sense, in your view, political skills, and this shows the mindset of a regime which has become essentially technocratic and bureaucratic.
But no one, hear the others. I'll certainly let you answer him in entirety.
Failure of governance.
I'll let you answer that, Sanjay Jha, in entirety. I would like to put that question to A.K. Verma. You have been a very, very experienced policeman. You've headed RAW. Dr. Verma, is this the, sometimes does the response lead to the outcome? Was there a lack of finesse in handling? Was there a sense of nervousness in your view? What would have been the appropriate response? Suppose a few people start throwing a few bottles or start throwing stones. In your view, is there a growing sense that you get that maximum force should be used to quell it and then send a message, never try this again?
I'm sorry I have lost your voice, but I heard part of your questions. The fact is that the police system has developed many weaknesses, and there is nothing being done to improve the police system. It is not that the police is failing the government or the society, it's the other way. It's the government and the society which is failing the police. Why do I say so? As Dr. Ashish Nandi just now said, it's a colonial police which is functioning. It's the same colonial police which had been set up by the British Raj in 1861 to guard the Raj interest as well as the officers of the Raj. And when India became independent, the same act was brought lock, stock, barrel and made applicable to the Republic in India. So the result is that the Police Act is providing safety and protecting the interests of the rulers and the officers, not of the people. Just like it didn't do anything for safeguarding the interests of the people during the British times. So this act needs to be completely thrown out. As long as this act is not thrown out, I don't think the police system in the country is going to change. Furthermore, I would like to remind that the Supreme Court had made certain mandatory directions with regard to police reforms. It is surprising that not a single state government or a central authority has acted on those mandatory orders. Why does it happen like this? the mandatory orders of the Supreme Court, if they are disobeyed, that shows utter lack of interest and intent on the part of any state authority, whether the central or the state, to improve the matters. And if these matters cannot be improved, I'm afraid the police will have these weaknesses and there'll be no way to get a better police in the country.
Now, I have two points to make to both the Aam Admi Party and the HamaraCongress.com representative. With your permission, please. And my point first to you, Sanjay, is that I think both sides are being extreme. You're being extreme, Shazia is being extreme. No, one second. Let me tell you why you're extreme. You're extreme because you're saying that the entire Aam Admi Party and Ramdev Brigade, all of them are violent. And Shazia, you're using it as a political argument to suit your political convenience. It's all right. But it's a political argument. And Shazia, you're being extreme because you're saying the post-mortem report is fabricated. You're not a forensic expert. You are not a medical expert, Shazia. So both sides are not seeing reason.
True.
I'm sorry.
True. I'm not.
Both sides. Okay, who goes first? Who goes first? You're actually letting us speak first.
Ladies first.
Okay, Shazia goes first. Yes, Shazia.
See, this is not the first time that, first of all, I really wonder, was it a matter of clairvoyance, whereby the Delhi Police Commissioner could predict the exact finding of the post-mortem report a day in advance? The RML doctors and also the eyewitnesses who actually assisted and carried Subhash Tomarji to the hospital were present there, and they actually said that there were no external injuries. One.
No.
And the second point, and it's very important, that a day later the post-mortem report comes, which totally contradicts that of the doctors who attended to Subhash Tomarji in person. So, and earlier, whether the Shopian rape and murders, whether it's a Manu Sharma CFSL report, which
we'll have to take each case separately.
Jahan trial,
we'll have to take
there have been. But it's happened before. It's not new. Things happen. I agree, but it's happened before. It's not. I mean, the gentleman speaking before me, the preceding speaker said it cannot be concocted. But we also cannot say that it is not concocted for sure.
No, but then
there is benefit of doubt to be given to both sides.
I'm afraid.
That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying tonight is that both the Congress Party and the Aam Admi Party, to suit their own political convenience and to settle scores, are going to extremes.
That is not true. That is not true, Arnab. No, please don't say that, because that's not true.
Okay, that's my view. Let me just respond.
I think the fact of the matter is, Arnab, can I say something?
An exception does not become the rule. So yes, I agree with you that there may have been cases in the past where perhaps there was an element of fabrication, but it still remains an exception. So let's not get too cynical. Point number two, and this is a very important question you raised. I do believe, Arnab, that the form of protest that is now beginning to take place in India is a novel challenge for any establishment.
No, I don't. I'll tell you why.
Let me finish my sentence.
Didn't Mandal Commission protest happen?
No, 1 minute. But this government engaged with, in fact, with the civil society for a long time on the anti-corruption Lokpal bill. We saw where that agitation went. And by the way, there was no violence. Even where this is concerned. And I'm very keen to respond to this. Because the government here was actually the police and the government said, please come and protest somewhere else because there are preparations going on for the Republic Day. There is a section 144. And please let us, I agree the police is not always right. Perhaps it's wrong as well more often. But there is a law and enforcement role it has to play, and let us not take away credit for them for delivering on that. All of us on this panel are ordinary citizens.
You never answered my question about going to extreme.
We also need the police. We need to respect a certain.
Is the Aam Admi Party a violent party? Is the Aam Admi Party a violent party?
It's a provocative party. It is an opportunistic party.
You get provoked.
I make that allegation and I stand by it.
And you get provoked easily. Also admit that.
Not really. I think
the threshold of provocation.
Let me tell you why. The government's responsibility is not just to the protesters, but it's to the people of Delhi as a whole.
Can I say one thing? Can I say one thing?
Is it Ranjana responsible for those who had to go to war?
Ranjana Kumari now.
Those who needed to go to hospital.
1 minute.
Those who had to take an aircraft.
I think
the government is
this whole protest, first time ever in history of India, young people have come forward to protest on violation and sexual offense against women. First time ever. I think the state has to respond to it. And please don't confuse the whole of this protest and whole of this, anger which has come out of on the street with this party or that party. Let them settle their scores outside. What is happening at the moment is that, there are politicized, the issue has been politicized, issue is getting all kinds. State has to respond to the people. State must respond. Every time when we ask for women's reservation, it has not responded. When they ask for Lokpal bill, and today when the students, the young people are asking for law to really punish the people severely, why can't they call for one day?
Protest is legitimate.
You forgot all your issues. You have to raise that issue. They must call for one day debate in the parliament. We want the real issues to be in the center of the whole debate. We don't want issues to be deflected like that. Call for the session.
My information is, so you say that laws cannot be made on the streets. My information is that the Congress party and the BJP, on an average, when either party is in the opposition, stages one major street protest somewhere in the country every 2 weeks.
Yeah, but it lets parliament function. Congress let parliament function. BJP doesn't let it happen.
So everybody can go. You can go. I can go. Political parties can go. A free and democratic country, everybody can protest. Sabha, my question to you is a little deeper. Do you think the Congress party on the one side and this Ramdev plus Anna, I'm sorry for clubbing both together, Shazia, I know you won't like it, on the other side, need to know how to deal with each other. No, need to get to learn to deal with each other. Because the real Aam Admi, and I'm not saying the Aam Admi party, the real Aam Admi somewhere gets crushed in the deep and deepening fight between AAP and Ramdev on the one side and the Congress party on the other.
Actually, Arnab, I don't think the Aam Admi gets crushed in a sense, because I think in spite of all these debates and all these, fights that we've had here, this issue gets back to the core that the terrible things that happened to this girl strikes a chord with a lot of women. I think, sometimes we tend to ignore that. And I just have one remark to make, and I really don't want an answer from Sanjay Jha. Because in this whole thing of attacking the police and defending this and trying to blame the Aam Admi party, which we all know was very marginal to this whole thing, they were not the pivot of what happened here. It was a spontaneous thing that happened here. And certainly people who watch the media, but very legitimate. People have a right to express their views, in a legitimate way, and they were doing that. And the Aam Admi party was not central to the whole thing that was happening here. And, and with Sanjay Jha's sort of, defending the police here or the Congress here, and I'm getting very confused with what he's achieving here, especially on top of the fact that we've had the spectacle of the Delhi Congress government undermining the police and vice versa. So it's all pretty, the politics of it is messy. It's really unnecessary to what is a legitimate, spontaneous expression of people relating to what
I just, at the end of the day, I'm going to have to
across the country, not just
one second. Sanjay, I need to. Sanjay, 1 minute. Sanjay, 1 minute. 1 minute. Sanjay, can I please
join only in Delhi?
So can I please 1 second? I want to just tell our viewers, I'm getting Nikunj Garg on for a live update on that. The pictures you're seeing on your screen, there's an ambulance which is moved out of Safdarjung Hospital. And there are some reports. Nikunj Garg is on the phone line with us, and there are some reports that the 23-year-old victim there is being moved out of Safdarjung Hospital, that she could even be moved out of India for treatment. Nikunj has more on that. Nikunj, what details do you have? Has anything been said officially yet?
Well, Arnab, no. No official confirmation of the fact that the victim of this brutal gang rape incident can be moved out of the country. But I have spoken to some very senior and very highly placed officials and the politicians, and it has been told to me that the Prime Minister has actually taken a decision that this girl should be moved out of the country to Singapore. And I can tell you this decision, this destination also with some amount of confirmation and confidence that this was a decision that was taken out taken in a meeting that Prime Minister chaired, and it was discussed in the Congress's core group too. And there are reasons, Arnab, for taking this decision. And the fact remains that, as you see on your screen, there are some ambulances, and just about 2 minutes back, I have received messages from the officials who are involved in this entire process. It's a very serious and very sensitive process, and one has to take note of this because, the health and the circumstances involving the movement of the girl are very, very sensitive, and all precautions that the Government of India, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Home Affairs, and the Delhi police can take are being taken. And this ambulance that you see on your screen, Arnab, right now, and our viewers also must be seeing, are of Medanta Hospital. And I just now received a message from about 5 minutes back before we started having this discussion that she would first be moved to Medanta Hospital. That is a super specialty hospital right on the outskirts of Delhi in Gurgaon, run by a very well-known heart specialist, Dr. Naresh Trehan, and also has international world-class facilities for all such processes. And I must tell you, Arnab, that the Government of India, and this I can tell you with some amount of certainty because I was told this early this evening that, Government of India had a word with Government of Singapore, and they said that, they do have a specialization in the processes of removing gangrene, the victims who suffer from any kind of injury that brings septicemia in their processes, which can actually spread to the blood and other vital organs. And they confirmed to Government of India that they can certainly do a job that is world class. Not to say that a job that Government of India and Ministry of Health and Ministry of Home Affairs has been doing here in the Safdarjung Hospital was not world class, but there are certainly in such circumstances a better option that is always available. And that is my understanding that the Government of India is trying to explore and is involved in that exercise of trying to ensure best Medicare for the young woman who has been injured in this very brutal and gruesome incident for no fault of hers.
Well, thank you, Nikunj, for a very detailed update on the News Hour tonight. As I thank all my panelists, our prayers are with that young girl. She symbolizes the spirit of India and the spirit of Indian womanhood. I'll see you again tomorrow at 9 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure bringing the news to you. Good night and goodbye.